Welcome back to the Mixtape Queens Podcast, where we bring you the hottest and most talented artists in the music industry.
We're your hosts, Amanda
and Elise,
and we specialize in spreading music and love around the world. If we have brought you any joy through our podcast, please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, or follow button.
If you would like to make a contribution and help us on our mission to spread love and music around the world, please tap into the link below to donate. On today's episode, we interview one of our heroes, Big Soph. She's amazing. She's out there spreading knowledge for the music community. If you are a music artist or you're trying to get your music heard around the world, this is an episode that's going to give you a lot of value. So check it out.
Our guest today is Big Soph. Some of you may have heard of this queen. She is extremely talented and multifaceted. Soph is an industry facilitator and a strategy consultant. She's a music tech and educator and a music executive growth expert. Okay? Yeah. So if you don't know who she is, you're about to find out, baby, because she know. She know what she knows. She know a lot of stuff that you don't know, so you better tap in, okay? Welcome, Queen.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It's an honor to have you here. We've been watching your videos for a long time. We love you.
Thank you.
And we know a lot of people that watch your videos and love you. So this is huge for us that you took the time to be on our little podcast because we're still growing. Mm-hmm. And now we got Big Soph. Period. For the people, okay? Big Soph, Big Soph, Big Soph, Big Soph.
Bandana gang, bandana gang, bandana gang.
Right.
Okay.
Let's go.
Just so you know, hashtag bandana gang. Okay.
Yep.
Grow with Soph. Let's get it.
All right, no.
Grow with Soph. So, Soph, we love what you do. It's in the same lane as us. We're out here trying to spread the music. We're on a mission to let people know that we believe music is medicine and that it's a powerful tool for change and healing and growth and artistic expression. It means everything to us. We know it means a lot to a lot of the people that we work with around the world, independent artists, producers, executives in the music industry. And we're just so curious to pick your brain. We know a little bit about you. We know that you started doing music yourself, right?
Right.
And somewhere along the lines, you started to pick up all this knowledge and learn so much about the industry. Now you are dedicated to helping others grow their music and grow their brand. Can you tell us a little bit more about how that got started and how that came about?
Sure. So, as a kid, I would kind of make like funny raps with my cousins. And then, moving into high school, I began recording myself, and I ultimately did one of my projects on hip hop. And I went and I found a rapper. I shadowed him. I went to the Trap House studio, recorded there, and really just continued my musical journey for quite some time. I think it was maybe at the 7-8 year mark where I started getting into the music industry commercially, because I didn't come from a family that knew anything about music or media. I didn't have friends that had family in the industry. So I really was just coming into it from a middle class family, a working class family, and learning as I went. So I was releasing songs, releasing music, got pretty good responses. I did performances, I shot videos, all sorts of stuff. And I ultimately wound up getting a single distribution deal with a couple different distributors, one of which being UMG through Imprint, which is essentially when Universal gives all their label services to a smaller label. So I was signed to that label. We put out a record. It did pretty good. We used some of the label services, but when it was time for the label to pay me out, it was kind of like, where's the money? And that was really the driving factor that took me from being an artist only to like wondering how this worked. So there's about 5 of us in that group that experienced that, and 4 of the people were like, man, screw this guy. And the thing I did differently at that moment was, instead of saying like, hey dude, like I don't like how you're moving and this wasn't cool, I said, yeah, you guys owe me money, so I'm going to pull up every single day and you're going to show me how to do what you're doing. And, through that, I learned about, the back end of distribution. I learned about, how money moves, and all the information I got from him, I would then go home and research even more. And the reason why I never kind of said, screw this guy, is because I did enough research to inform me that maybe he wasn't lying, but that UMG was not paying him out, so he couldn't pay us out. And that's kind of how I got into the music services business. I started doing, metadata management for people, registering them to Luminate, Mediabase at the time, and, Sound Exchange, stuff like that. I would really do anything that I could to get money and provide something to fellow artists. So I was doing cover design, motion cover design, registrations, and then over time eventually got into marketing and had word of mouth referrals from just, getting stuff done, that I just kept learning and kept doing stuff. And now I have an arsenal of services and resources for artists and creators.
Wow. See, that's pure boss energy.
That's why they call you Big Soph.
Okay, not the little one.
Right, not the little
because it takes a lot of, you know what? I'm not going to let this prevent me from making something happen.
Right.
I see myself doing something bigger than this.
Mm-hmm.
And then also going through that little bit of friction kind of catapulted you where you really needed to be, which is basically teaching others.
Yeah.
And I can tell you really enjoy what you're doing. You enjoy spreading that knowledge. You enjoy helping others get to their goals. So I love that, because that makes that saying so true. Like, sometimes that push in another direction is not something that wants to stop you. It's catapulting you like further.
It's not rejection, it's redirection.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So what are some things that people can do in today's age to be aware of these faulty deals, or deals that are, slimy deals, I guess we can say.
Right.
And let that lead us into your company, Copious Media, and what other things you can do to help people who need some direction.
Yeah. So, I mean, the number one thing is not being overeager, right? Even myself, we get, as creatives, super excited about the possibilities. And sometimes we operate a little bit too much in the delulu and not enough in the reality. So that is something that, slimy people will take advantage of. So my first thing is like, don't move too quickly. Almost any time that I've been in a situation where someone was like, make a decision, it was not a good decision for me. So anybody who truly wants to see you win is going to be understanding of you taking any time to consider what's in front of you. And then secondarily, I would say utilize the resources available to you. If you're watching this, you live in one of the most resourceful times in human history. You don't need to hire a lawyer. You can literally take the PDF, download it, upload it to ChatGPT, and then ask ChatGPT, hey, can you explain this to me like a 5th grader? Or, hey, some prompt that I actually put in there is, what potential liabilities does this present to the person signing this? And then ChatGPT will be like, boom, 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 a bunch of bullet points that now you can consider, and you're not getting caught up in the legal jargon of things. So, you told me to kind of segue into what I'm doing now, and that is a driving factor of why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I spent so much money doing the wrong things. You know, I spent $1,400, you know, shooting a video and then only put $300 of marketing on it. I spent, you know, $5,000 getting a distro panel that really I didn't need at the time. But because of who I was listening to and my lack of education in the space, I made the wrong decisions. No one forced me to make those decisions. I was just not educated. So that's kind of where Copious Media came in. And there was one other thing that I noticed was happening very, very often in the music and creative industries, which was people not doing what they say they're going to do, people not following through with the agreed upon thing. So by simply just doing that, I set myself apart from a lot of the competition because I'm like, hey, my name's Sophie. Here's a reasonable price point, and you're going to get what we discussed. And that's kind of my mission at Copious Media, is to provide, you know, label services and consulting and all the same services I provide to the consultants working the label jobs and the labels, to independent artists. However, while also educating them. So I'm one of the few service providers where if you just come to me off rip and say you want a Billboard chart, I'm going to say no, or I'm going to at least look at what you need and advise you the right thing instead of just selling you something. So that's kind of the mission at Copious Media. We like to educate the consumer as well as provide the service, because it's all about managing expectations in the industry we're in now. And within Copious, I've been able to do some really cool things and work with some really cool people. I did one thing I can share is I did the registrations for Sophia the Robot's first song, which is crazy because she's like the first AI music writer or whatever. The song was kind of creepy, but I got to be part of that, so I thought that was cool. But yeah, I've been doing it since I've been freelancing since 2016, and then I opened my agency in 2019, and we've been rocking out since then.
Nice. I want to hear that robot song.
I'm like, I love that you said it was kind of creepy. I'm like, well, now I want to hear it.
It was about
now I want to hear it.
It was about falling in love with the person that built her.
Right. Okay, that could be a little creepy, but that's
pretty
nice.
cool.
I like
Right.
it.
That's cool.
I like that a lot.
So, how are some of the ways that the music industry has changed just since you started until now? And what are some of the ways that you see it going forward into the future?
That's a great question. So, from where I started to now, so much has changed. So much is continuing to change. One thing I'll say is there's a lot less gatekeeping, and gatekeeping's a lot less effective than it was before. You know, one of the main reasons why I bought all the wrong stuff or worked with people was because I was unaware of who mattered and who didn't matter. And it's very easy to fabricate being important on the internet. So I think now, with the availability of resources being more widespread, there's a lot less people like falling for the okey doke. So I think that's great. That's one good thing I think has changed. I think in terms of the business, you know, we're seeing a lot more direct to consumer stuff for artists, which I personally love because they get to keep more of their revenue. We're seeing labels cutting more fair deals just because the artist is more educated. So I love that. And then also there's been additional jobs created. So people who market music typically would work at the label, and now that's kind of shifted to agencies, you know, which is nice because people get to maintain their independence while still being part of the music industry system. And I think moving forward, as education continues to rise, people are going to get more and more educated on what they need to do. And I think in the future, artists will be better prepared because they realize there is no cookie cutter method to achieving success. And that's kind of how it was before, where it's like you do radio, you go to the city, you do the shows, and you keep doing that, and then you blow up. But now there's so many different paths to success and also different ways to define success that I think more artists are going to be happy. They're going to have sustainable careers, and we're going to see the music industry and the music tech industry really coming to support the artists, whereas previously it was more like the artist is my customer and the artist is the product, where now it's more, and in the future it's more like that's the artist, how can we support the artist to make the artist successful, and that's when we win too. That's how I feel. And then of course Web3, but that's a whole rabbit hole with the Web3 stuff. But whenever Web3 does come into the mainframe of people's consciousness, that's when artists are really going to win, because you cut out the middleman altogether if it's on blockchain.
Facts.
That's huge.
Okay, so I love that. And I do like that you really started out by saying that as an artist, as a creative period, it's 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not using that AI to your advantage,
Right.
wow, you are missing out like on something big. Like that could be the key piece to, like I said before, catapulting you
Right.
into the direction that you want to go, or that's meant for you. And I think a lot of people are lacking on that because they feel, we've heard a lot of artists say, oh, AI is going to take my job, or AI is going to
Start writing songs.
Yeah, start writing songs, and it's going to be better than my songs. I'm like, well, actually, you can use the AI to the benefit of your music.
Right.
Instead of looking at it like an opposition, something that's trying to take away. Look at it as something that's going to add to how frequently you do the thing that you love.
I like that too. And we're hopeful, we're optimistic for the future. Mm-hmm. I believe this is a golden age for music.
Right.
The talent that we're seeing is incredible. It's beautiful. And like you said, the independent aspect is just giving artists more freedom to express and connect with their audience. I'm excited to see what the future has to hold. And also, that's one of the things I love about you, Big Soph, because you're not just a branding agency. You're not just trying to sell something. You are an educator. Mm-hmm. You are using the internet or social media as a tool to help others and add value to others. Mm-hmm. And you're always shining light on something that a lot of people haven't heard about. Mm-hmm. And we might not ever see that because people are in that endless scroll hole of doom.
Right.
And unless they follow Big Soph,
right,
they're just screwing up. Okay, so yes, follow and tap in with Big Soph
right there.
Nah, I appreciate that, and I think you guys you hit the nail on the head. Like, people fear what they don't understand, and AI can truly make your life so much easier as an artist, because now, especially if you're gonna do everything yourself, you have a lot to do. So like, put the AIs to work for you. And I think one main thing that a lot of artists can benefit from that isn't scary is using it as a thought partner, right? Even if you want to do it with your songwriting, you can. Back in the day, we're like, if you use the rhyming dictionary, you're not a rapper. Like, we're not there anymore. Like, use all that's available to you to make the best piece that you possibly can, because whether you got support from the AI or not, it still came from the depths of your soul, because the AI doesn't have one.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah, right?
Right.
Yeah. We are the thing that gives it the spirit.
Exactly.
The soul to get it to create.
Right. So a lot of artists are worried about streaming. Mm-hmm. It's like, what are we going to make a penny or not even a penny,
Right.
And a lot of people are not hopeful. What does this really come down to? Is it something that people can just YouTube and research, or do they really have to want this bad? How bad do they really have to want it?
You have to have a driving a driving passion for this, or you're gonna give up, because you're just gonna experience so many hurdles and pitfalls and really high great moments as well. But if you don't have like a burning desire to achieve this, if it's not in you and it's only on you, you know what I mean, you're gonna struggle, because this is a marathon. Like Nipsey said it best, like you can go and sprint here and there, but unless you really buckle down and you hit those laps, you're not going to accumulate enough stuff in enough amount of time to like leverage it. And then with streaming, I think it is partially a mindset issue, because back in the day, right? So let's say even in the early 2000s, we were still buying CDs. CDs still had pamphlets in it. We were getting shirts, and that's how the music was monetized, the album sale. And now that it's a stream, which is like less than a quarter of a penny, you know, you have to look at the music and the streaming music as the marketing tool to sell something else, right? So, for example, what we're seeing now a lot is vinyls. If you're an artist and you have a fan base, even if it's little, even if you only have 50 people, give them something to buy, because people like supporting what they believe in. So, even if I don't have a vinyl player, I may buy a vinyl and set it up on my little shelf because I want a conversation piece, or, a shirt. And then when you're running those ads, you're using the music as the marketing vehicle to sell something. I think artists need to stop hyper fixating on the trash payout of streaming and start directing their attention to more lucrative methods of getting their music out, like sync placements in TV, movies, film, and video games. Even branding agencies who do work for brands will place your song. So I think as streaming changes, it's just about changing with the wave. Like the wave is going to keep doing the wave thing, and you just have to swim, because if not, you're going to drown. So I think artists who are focused only on getting money from streaming are going to consistently be disappointed, and they need to be more realistic in their monetization approach.
Absolutely. I think you're hitting it right on the nail.
Big
And
game.
honestly, that reminds me of our last guest that we had on the podcast, where Adam Ivy was saying exactly what you said. Like, I feel like a lot of artists, especially new artists, really focus on the outer layer or the surface layer of what they really want. And he hit it on the nail when he said that if making your music and making only 40,000, 50,000, enough to sustain your life isn't enough, then you can't be mad that it doesn't happen overnight. That's a pipe dream.
Right.
It's a pipe dream. It takes work. It takes effort. It's like Beyonce did not get where Beyonce was by not doing what she did.
Right. Ain't no half stepping over here. It doesn't work.
No. And this is I want to say it's a nice, frilly industry, but it's not. It's brutal. It's brutal. I think this is tougher than the Olympics, honestly, because it's one of those. It's mentally,
No, I agree.
Challenging for people.
I agree. I know my facial expressions sometimes can be a little confusing, but like, I think that if more people knew how it really was, they wouldn't even try. Because, so for me personally, I'll tell you a little story. I came into this thinking that it was truly collaborative, and we were all just frolicking through this artsy landscape where we were all like, yeah, let's make cool stuff together. And it's like not that at all. It's actually like, yeah, let's make cool stuff together, but then I'm going to steal this stuff, and then I'm going to put out this stuff, and then this is my stuff. And did you even help? So it's like, I agree with you. I think there's a huge thing that's not talked about, and it's the mental fortitude it takes to continue as you're navigating this, because it gets repetitive, tiresome, and discouraging. And that goes right back to what we talked about earlier. Like, if it's not something that you truly is just dying to get out of you and realize itself in the world, then it's going to be hard to continue, because it is very much like being an athlete and training like an athlete and having the discipline of an athlete.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's going to take some real inner.
It's more like hurricanes and tornadoes.
Yeah.
Hurricanes and tornadoes.
I mean, this materialism, and even the people with, it's all about clout and followers. You know, what is your real desire?
Right.
Do you really feel a calling to make music? And that intention behind it is so powerful.
Very powerful. And then figuring out what your music means to you first, before worrying about what it means to everybody else, because it don't matter if everybody else thinks it's crap. If you think it's good, put it out.
I'll say you're right. You're right about that. And the one thing that artists maybe underestimate is the amount of fun they're having when they're making the record. We can feel that on the other side, like the listener. So like, if I do music reviews, a lot of times I'll be like, bro, I hear the record, but I don't feel it. So like, do you even like this record? And I think there's a lot of pressure on artists to be marketable. And, you know, I understand that it's difficult, because when I was making music, I was performing a song, and midway through the song, I was like, I hate this song. I'm looking in the crowd. The crowd's like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't even like this song. And it was that moment where I was like, what am I doing? Like, am I sacrificing my artistic integrity to be marketable? And that's what I was doing at the time. So it's a fine line you got to walk, but I think you definitely got it right. It's like, you have to figure out what it means to you and work through that.
Absolutely, because a lot of artists don't know, but that music that you really love to do, that you're doing, that it has your special sauce in it.
Yeah.
Nobody can replace that formula for that sauce.
Right.
So speaking of the sauce, Big Soph, do you still work on music?
Of course I still work on music. Come on now. No,
So am I gonna hear some music soon? No.
I don't know, maybe. I was just saying, I was telling somebody else, as coming up in the business side, right? There's this weird thing that happens where it's like, at a certain level, you're like, do you make music? And you're like, I used to make music. And then they're like, okay, good. Because if you make music and you're trying to do business, I can't trust you with the business because you want to be an artist. Literally has been said to me. Someone literally, I won't say who, but big 3 label decision maker was like, if you still make music, I won't hire you. And I was like, cool, because I don't want to work here anyway. But he said that, and it made me think, like, damn, like, that's crazy. And then I leveled up some more, and now the level I'm at, which is arguably higher than the one I was just referencing, they're like, do you make music? Why don't you make music? Why don't you put out the music? You have to. And so it's been a cool little journey, but I've been in Pro Tools consistently. Actually challenged myself to write other genres. So right now I'm experimenting with a little bit of indie rock. I'm having fun with it. I had to go through my own struggle of, even right now, like, redefining what my sound is, because when I started making music, it was very much emotional processing for me, and I needed to do that. And I was in a different headspace, a younger, you know, all sorts of things, just a different season of my life. And now, you know, I've rapped as much as I can rap. Like, I've rapped my ass off, and, you know, maybe I'll DM you guys an old song so you can hear it. But, like, I was rapping. And now I'm like, that's not what feels real to me. Like, I could write some rap songs. I still do write some, but I'm not having as much fun as when I'm just messing around doing, like, indie rock. So I think part of it too, for artists, I guess what I'm saying is, you are going to change over time, and you have to allow your creativity to do the same. Don't hold your dreams so tight that you choke it. Because for me, since I started making music so early, I realized 10 years into it, I never learned how to be a human because I was only trying to be an artist. So yeah, I'm messing around in Pro Tools. You may or may not hear something. We'll see. I don't know.
Well, I'm hoping. We're hoping.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
I know it's gonna be fire or whatever.
Thank you. I appreciate the the confidence in me.
Of course.
Okay, so the people want to know, does Big Soph believe in aliens?
Can you define an alien?
Let's see.
Not the ones that are illegal from America.
Multi-dimensional, extraterrestrial, interdimensional,
Sasquatch,
highly advanced.
I think there's more than
humanoid.
humans. There's definitely more than humans around for sure. I think different timelines exist and overlap and interact. I think that everybody's energetic beings, right? And I think the term alien kind of speaks to the shell that the energy is in. But I think there's various levels of energetic beings on and around Earth, you know. I don't know if that answers the question, but that's kind of my stance.
Legit.
It definitely does. We'll get deeper into it later.
We like it.
We'll unpack that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really great. Okay. Well,
is this a surprise question? Is that what's coming? Because it feels like it.
No, that was the
okay.
question. The aliens.
Right
I was trying to figure out. Okay, so what is your current favorite song out right now?
I don't know. It depends on my vibe, right? So like Central C and Lil Baby, if I'm trying to get hype, band for band, just because I always have liked Central C for years now. So Ariana Grande just dropped an album. I am a closet Ari fan, for sure. And you know, I listen to a lot of Nipsey. Like every year, the percentage on Spotify Wrapped gets smaller and smaller, and I'm still in there. So I listen to all the Nipsey projects. I just feel like those are truly a lot of my favorite songs because they activate a part of me that I need to tap into. So I don't know, like, what am I singing right now? It's mostly my clients' songs because I'm listening to them all the damn time. So, like, we have Selma Erickson. She just dropped a song called By Now. She's 16. She's insanely talented, and the musicality's great. So, I've been listening to that. And then Haley Orion. Been listening to a lot of her songs. But if I had to give you one song, let me open my Spotify. I really like What You Got by Quail P right now. But damn, I don't know, guys. I like some of the new Bryson Tiller stuff. I'm just all over the place. Like I even got some like classical music in here. Can I Call You Rose by Solomon? That's fire.
There you go.
Okay.
You have an eclectic taste.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. But closet Ariana Grande fan. She's always in rotation. Nobody would guess it. So I'll drop that on your podcast.
We need you to make a Big Soph playlist.
I got you.
Yes.
So we could hear what you're listening to.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
That'd be dope.
Got some ideas forming in my head.
Yeah, that's
right
a great idea.
Okay, but don't worry, you're not the only Ari fan, though I'm not in the closet with it. I've never been in the closet, you guys. Always been out. Very flamboyant.
Well, I guess I'm out now. I came out. I came out on your podcast. Came out of the closet.
During Pride Month, but for Ariana Grande.
Right.
Right. Okay, that's great. Well, damn. Okay. I mean, I do love Ari's new project also, just so I can say that,
right.
Throw that out there. Okay.
Nipsey.
Yes, and had me.
Yes.
Like,
girl. Yes.
Okay.
I literally respond to people when they're like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes, and like.
Literally. I was like, it gave what it was supposed to.
Yes.
That's all you needed to know.
Yes.
And I don't know if anybody's watched that new video, The Boy Is Mine.
I purposely haven't
snapped-
watched it yet because
she
I was
snapped.
going to do a blind react to it.
Oh my God, you have to. Are you going to post it on like YouTube?
I should.
You should. You
I
should.
should.
You should start doing that. Like, this is what you do anyways. You should start doing that. It'd
yeah.
be perfect.
No, I have I think like I know all the best practices I need to do to grow my brand, but then for some reason when it comes down to it, I'm just always putting my clients first and I run out of time in the day, but I definitely will, because I did one for band and I just didn't post it. So maybe the Ari one will be the first one that I do. Just to come out of the closet altogether to the whole world.
Well, I'm pretty sure that when you see who you see, you're gonna be like, oh, whoa,
Okay.
this is not what I thought, but it's good. It's great.
Okay.
It's awesome. But yeah, for sure. Love that.
Yeah, that's gonna set
And
it off.
Nipsey will always be forever in rotation on playlists forever.
Yeah,
Right.
long live the true artists out
I
there.
don't think I've ever had a day where I didn't listen to Hustle and Motivate. Like that's my go-to song all the time.
Right.
It's my ringtone.
It's literally her ringtone for like the last 3 years.
So sometimes it'll play and I'm like, my phone, and it's not.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are so grateful to have you join us today, and we are thrilled for everyone to get to know you if they don't already. We will have all of your descriptions in the podcast description below. We want everybody to tap in with Big Soph, and go ahead and let people know how they can talk to you, how they can get a music review, and how they can work with you.
So follow me on the gram at I am Big Soph, IAMBIGSOPH. Same username on everything. That's my username. And then I also have Grow with Soph, which is a closed community. That's where I really am able to help people on a regular and ongoing basis for a very low price point. It's only $8 a week. And so we go live in there once a week. So that's cool. And then if you want to, get a consultation or a content strategy, just go ahead and check out my link in bio on Instagram, or you can check it out at stan.store/IamBigSoph.
Period. And all of that is going to be below. So tap in right now.
Period.
And Big Soph, we love you so much. You're amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being a leader for the people, being a voice for the people, and spreading your knowledge. It means everything to us.
Yeah, thank you.
Does.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me. I love you guys too. I appreciate your follow-up because I know that we've tried to do this for some time now. And the last word I will leave the people with is, if you want something, just continuously go after it, because it took us a while to get this podcast together. We did it. We're here and you're listening to it, and hopefully it'll change your life or the way you look at things. So thank you for listening to me talk, and thank you, the Mixtape Queens, for being amazing hosts and matching the vibes with the bandanas.
Ambitions of a rider,
right?
Don't you know?
Yeah.
Cool.
Period. West Coast me, baby. No, no, seriously. But yes, okay, everybody, you've heard it here on the Mixtape Queens podcast. We have the one and only Big Soph. Don't play with it. Hit those links in the description. As always, we love you and appreciate you for tapping in with us. If you haven't already, hit that like, follow, and subscribe button. Ooh, and do the same for our special guest, Big Soph. Obviously, we're sending y'all a lot of love. Peace.
Peace.